very surprised. But before we get to that, I want to ask you one thing. You and your mom worked really well together. I met you two together years ago. How do you describe the skill sets each of you bring to the table?
We were a great team. You're going to make me cry.
It's okay if you cry a little bit. That's okay. We love your mother.
I'm still dealing with...
It's only a few months.
Yes. And I'm... Oh,
yes.
goodness.
I know. I know.
Because you're saying, yes, it was a surprise. It was a surprise to me, too. I really didn't expect it. She had me convinced she was going to live forever.
I thought my mom died young. I thought she was going to live to be at least 100. I mean, it happens.
I really thought that was her plan.
Well, and she was such a strong woman.
I did. I thought she was, yes, that was her plan. She kept saying, I'm going to be riding into my 90s, and I'm going to be, she had me convinced.
Yeah, and she I mean, she was slowing down a bit.
Yes.
But she still had a lot of energy. You guys had a massive new project you were starting. So for the sake of the viewers that loved her, what actually happened toward the end?
Right. What actually happened, she fell and she hit her head, and she was going to the beauty shop.
Your mom had a thing about her hair.
Yes.
Let's just talk about that for a moment.
Yes.
Your mom would get really edgy if she didn't have her hair exactly the way she wanted it. I remember that.
Well, and she was working up to the last. We had just finished a class, one of her classes, and then she was going to the beauty shop. So this is work as normal, her normal routine.
Yeah.
She was on her own. So she'd gone in there. We don't really know what happened. We don't know if she slipped. We don't know what happened. She just fell. Something happened, and she fell and hit her head. Now, that isn't what actually did. I mean, she had some concussions from that, but she actually healed from those. Okay. And I was calling on all the healers around the world, and she actually healed from those. But it was something to do with the hospital stay. Actually, it was like I think what it was, and this is what had to happen to convince me that it was her time and it was her decision. Because, like I said, I was calling on all the healers and everything, that things were happening piecemeal and one at a time. And all those were getting healed as I was requesting help. And then at the last minute, all of a sudden, everything just shut down. The whole body went at once. And that's when I finally just had to say, okay, I guess it's time. I guess you're wanting to go. And I think during that other time she would sleep a lot, and I think she was counseling and conferring and
going back and forth between dimensions and with other realms and such.
Right, and a lot of people were telling me that they were, seeing what she was doing.
She was reaching out to them, and they were tapping into her, and she's a very powerful being, and she had quite a reach.
Yes, exactly, and that she was deciding that she could do more from the other side, that it was time.
And those are the messages that were coming to you?
To me, yes. That there was just much more that she could do. She was just at a pivotal point. It's like, do I stay and keep doing what I'm doing? It was just, she could do so much more if she would just go.
Well, and she would not be limited energetically by a body that is going through what we all go through, the aging process.
Absolutely, and we had just gotten to the point where her body was saying, I have to stop traveling so much. And we had just done, I had just gone on a trip where we had decided that she shouldn't go on it, and it was the first one where I had done it, and we were doing her by Skype. And she actually got depressed. And she's like, I should be there with you doing it.
Yeah, that's her thing. But look how beautiful that is, though. She pushed the little chick out of the nest before this happened.
Right.
And that sounds like that was pretty critical.
It was.
For you to have to step into that, even though it was, she didn't give you a lot of training, in terms of time to adapt to your new role. It's not like you'd been doing it for a year or two. You just stepped into